My parents took out a second mortgage on my house, the one I bought, without telling me. Then they got mad when I refused to pay off the debt they racked up in my name. Bear with me because this whole thing is wild. Hey viewers, just a quick thanks, over 15% of you are already subscribed. It means a lot. I didn't plan to tell this story. I didn't think I ever would. For a long time, I convinced myself I was just being too sensitive, that I needed to be more understanding, more forgiving, more patient. I thought if I just did one more thing, they'd finally see me, finally love me the way they claim to. But you can only lie to yourself for so long before it breaks you. So yeah, this is me finally telling the truth, because if I don't, I'll drown in it. I'm the oldest of three, the responsible one, the rock of the family. I was 14 when my dad lost his job and started drinking more than working. I was 15 when Mom sat me down and said, "You're the man of the house now." I dropped out of most of my extracurriculars, got a part-time job at a gas station, spent my evenings watching my sibling so she could go work nights. By the time I graduated high school, college was off the table. We couldn't afford it and someone had to pay the rent. I didn't resent it at first. I figured it was just what families did. You make sacrifices. You pull each other up. Someday I thought I'll get to chase my dreams too. Spoiler, that day never came. Fast forward to my 20s. While my friends traveled or dated or built careers, I was still at home, working construction during the day, bartending at night, paying for groceries, covering the electric bill, driving my mom to doctor appointments, helping my siblings with their college apps. Both of them got full rides. Meanwhile, I was living in the unfinished basement, saving every cent I could, hoping that maybe, just maybe, I'd finally have something to call mine. And in 2020, I did it. I bought a house. It wasn't fancy, 1,200 square feet, old siding, fixer-upper kind of place, but it was mine. I put down the entire down payment with my own money, worked extra hours to get approved. No one co-signed. No one helped. I remember standing in the kitchen that first night, no furniture, eating fast food on the counter, thinking, finally. It felt like the beginning of a new chapter. It was. Not even 3 months later, my mom asked if she and my dad could move in just for a few weeks. Their landlord was raising the rent. They just needed time to find a new place. I hesitated, I really did, but she cried, told me they had nowhere else to go. I gave in. Just a few weeks, I told myself. They stayed for 2 years. 2 years of them treating the house like it was theirs, inviting people over without asking, rearranging the furniture, criticizing everything I did, the way I dressed, what I ate, who I dated. Worse, they stopped even pretending it was temporary. My dad told people he bought the house. My mom referred to my room as the guest room. And I just kept taking it because I'd been trained to, because family comes first. Because I thought if I just stayed patient, they'd respect me eventually. They never did. Then came the final betrayal. It started with letters from the bank which they were hiding from me. I only found them because I was taking out the trash one day and saw an envelope with my name on it in the bin. I opened it. It was a notice about missed payments on a second mortgage on my house. I thought it was a mistake. I never took out a second mortgage. I drove to the bank the next morning, hands shaking, sat down with a loan officer. She looked up my file and said the words that still make my stomach turn. Yes, the equity line of credit, it was approved 6 months ago. I couldn't speak. I just shook my head. She turned her screen toward me and showed me the documents. My name was on them, my forged signature, my property info. But the contact number, it was my dad's. They forged my name, used my social security number, and pulled $70,000 in equity out of my house. They used it to pay off dad's gambling debts and to buy my sister a car. I went home. I didn't say anything, not right away. I sat in my car for a long time. I kept thinking, there has to be a mistake. They wouldn't do this, not this. But they would, and they did. I confronted them the next night. Mom barely looked up from her phone. Dad had the audacity to shrug and say, "You weren't doing anything with that money anyway. And besides, we raised you." That was the moment I broke. Not when I saw the documents. Not when I realized I could lose my house. It was that moment, that sentence, that shattered something in me permanently. Because I finally understood the truth. They never saw me as a son. They saw me as an asset, a resource, a safety net. I kicked them out the next day, packed their things, left them on the porch, changed the locks, reported the fraud, froze my credit, called a lawyer. They screamed at me, called me ungrateful, said I was abandoning my real family for money. But it was never about money. It was about respect, about boundaries, about the fact that I didn't even matter enough to ask. They treated me like a backup plan, and when I stopped playing along, they turned into enemies. They tried to turn my siblings against me. My sister blocked me. My brother texted me a Bible verse about honoring your father and mother. I didn't respond. It's been a year. I've almost finished repairing my credit. The house is safe. I live alone now. It's quiet in the best way. I still go to therapy. I still flinch when the phone rings from a number I don't recognize. But I'm healing. More importantly, I'm free. And if you've ever been the one who's always giving, always fixing, always bending until you break, let me say this: you're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to choose yourself. You don't owe anyone your life just because they gave you theirs. They had a choice to love me, to respect me, to treat me like a human being. They chose control. They chose entitlement. So I chose peace. And I'm never going back.